Because I'm like, it's no way. That nigga did it. That nigga did it. Fuck with him.
Yo, he know everything.
That shit, that nigga did it, man. That nigga did it. Hey, my boy Andrew Tate back in the media, man. I think he's doing a new interview with
So
like,
9 months
Tate.
ago, we had a 5-hour interview with this one guy. You may recognize him. And we're doing part 2 today. We're in this country called Romania. And we've been hanging out with this guy for 5 hours. I don't know if you recognize the face or not.
5 fucking hour interview. Anyway, I guess the big thing recently was that he did an interview with the BBC.
Now, the BBC has questioned the controversial social media influencer Andrew Tate at his home in the Romanian capital, Bucharest. Tate is under house arrest and being investigated by Romanian prosecutors for accusations including rape, human trafficking and exploiting women, which he denies. The BBC challenged him on whether his views about women broadcast to his millions of online followers harmed young people, as many teachers and police officers claim. Well, the interview, which had no set conditions, was Tate's first since being released into house arrest from police custody last month. Lucy Williamson reports now from Bucharest.
We are doing an interview with you because you're facing some very serious allegations.
Correct.
Rape, human trafficking.
Yep.
And also because there's a great deal of concern about the things you say and the impact that they have on young people, on women.
I don't think the concern's about the things I say. I think the concern is for the level of influence I have and the reach I have.
Let's start with the allegations. Have you raped anybody?
Absolutely not.
Have you trafficked anybody?
Absolutely not.
Exploited any women for money?
Absolutely not.
But you have admitted using emotional manipulation to get...
Hey, can I ask you a question? Do y'all think Andrew Tate clout is going down a little bit? You know, obviously he's on Rumble, but ever since his arrest, and I know he's been out and, you know, obviously he's been trying to just get back to regular life. Do y'all see stuff as much anymore in terms of like, people used to say all they saw on TikTok was him. He was all over YouTube too. Do you think his clout is going down a little bit? Some people say no. Some people say yes. Some people say nah. Go ahead.
I think it's by design. Like motherfucking, he not actually out doing the interviews and shit. Like he just in the house, motherfucking like working out, doing what he wants to do type shit, making his own content. He not on niggas platforms and shit.
Yeah, I think that's about to change because he did the BBC. Now he's doing valuetainment. I could imagine Fresh and Fit going to go to Romania at some point and go get their interview. But yeah, I was just wondering because there was a time, like, to speak on his impact, I can't fully say everything, but the Rumble CEO told me Andrew Tate coming to that platform was something they've never seen before in the sense of numbers. Like, they gave me a number of, like, how many million people came to that website overnight. Like, different people. Like, he brought, like, I don't want to, like, get into numbers like that, but a wild number that he said, you know, obviously they have Donald Trump over there. They have all type of shit going on over there. He says nobody ever matched that amount of, like, you know, influence. So it's pretty much clout. But I'm wondering if that clout is still there or maybe just because you don't do stuff. Anyway, let me listen to some of this.
Women to work in the webcam industry for you.
No. We have an open criminal investigation. I am absolutely and utterly sure I'll be found innocent. I know the case better than you. I know it intimately and you don't. I have seen all the criminal files and the evidence against me and you haven't. I know the truth of what happened and you don't. And I'm telling you absolutely and utterly, I've never hurt anybody, that the case that's been put against me is completely and utterly fabricated. And I'm never going to be found guilty of anything. And it's very difficult for me to answer your in-depth questions because we're sitting here inside of the territory of Romania. I am beholden to the Romanian legal system. And I'm not going to incriminate myself.
Let me read you then what you have said about what you have done.
Sure.
You have said, my job was to meet a girl, go on a few dates, sleep with her, get her to fall in love with me to the point where she'd do anything I say, and then get her on webcam.
Somebody says lies, Cayenne Speed outdid him. Fuck no. Not to speak for the CEO, but I guarantee Cayenne Speed coming to Rumble wasn't 1/20th of what Andrew Tate did.
So we
and it's not knocking Cayenne Speed. It's just that, bro, at the peak, this nigga Tate was that popular. Like, I think Tate was, just all things being said. Remember 6ix9ine when he just came out of jail and he had 2 million people watching him on live? Tate at his peak was bigger than that.
Become rich together.
I don't think that's what I personally said. I think
that's exactly what you said on your website.
No, I've never said that. That's something that you found on the internet. Doesn't mean I've said it.
In your words.
And again, once again, if any female on the planet has a problem with me, I strongly recommend her to go to the police and try and pursue me for criminal charges. I'm actually such a nice person that I've never had anyone come at me.
The BBC has spoken to somebody since your arrest who says exactly those things, that with you it's all manipulation, there's an ulterior motive to everything you do.
Is this Sophie? Oh, it's Sophie, the fake name, no face.
I was so intent on wanting to please him and wanting him to be happy that I was just kind of, yeah, okay, do whatever you want.
And what is she accused? Has she accused me of a crime, this imaginary Sophie?
She's making the point that there is
Okay, you want me to watch I could watch the Rumble version. Tate unedited. I think this is it right here.
I'm facing charges. The first one you mentioned, the rape one's already been thrown out by a judge. There's no evidence of it.
Not all of the witnesses in the...
What's up with all the fucking noise behind it? Here we go.
I don't normally do this, but I feel like...
Let me read you some of the testimony from the current investigation.
Can I finish this?
One of the witnesses said...
Can I finish this?
You're not answering the question I've asked you. You're not answering the question I've asked you.
I am answering the question.
Let me read you the testimony of one of the witnesses.
You're saying the people who are involved in this, even if they say they're not victims, that they're still going to try and attack me and pretend they're victims.
They are treated as victims by the case that's ongoing. And not all of them are saying that. One of the witnesses says...
We can't go into the case. The case is open and active.
Well, let's just be clear that not all of the witnesses in the case are behaving in the way you describe. And even those that are, it doesn't bar them from being treated as victims by the prosecution by the case.
We have an open criminal investigation. I am absolutely not really sure I'll be found innocent. I know the case better than you. I know it intimately and you don't. I have seen all the criminal files and the evidence against me and you haven't. I know the truth of what happened and you don't. And I'm telling you absolutely not really, I've never hurt anybody, that the case that's been put against me is completely and utterly fabricated. And I'm never going to be found guilty of anything. And it's very difficult for me to answer your in-depth questions because we're sitting here inside of the territory of Romania. I'm beholden to the Romanian legal system. And I'm not going to incriminate myself because you're trying to prod me. You are wrong, and we're going to have to accept that for now and talk about something else.
Let me read you then what you have said about what you have done.
Sure.
You have said, my job was to meet a girl, go on a few dates, sleep with her, get her to fall in love with me to the point where she'd do anything I say, and then get her on webcam so we could become rich together.
I don't think that's what I personally said. I think that's
exactly what you said.
That's what they accuse Tate of doing, and they call it the lover boy method. So apparently, if you lied to women and get them to travel or, give up currency or, whatever, based upon a lie of you supposedly planning some romantic thing, but you had ulterior motives to just try to, use them to make you money, that's called sex trafficking,
That's no, I've never said that. That's something that you found on the internet. Doesn't mean I've said it. And again, once again, if any female on the planet has a problem with me, I strongly recommend her to go to the police and try and pursue me for criminal charges. It's actually very interesting that me, one of the most famous people in the world, who's been vilified by the legacy media and places all over the internet, while everyone has attacked me from every single angle, while federal agencies from multiple countries have called over 2,000 women who know me, we stand here with 0 new accusations since my arrest. 0. If you took any famous person, any man of substantial wealth, and you called 2,000 women who knew him, he'd find an ex-girlfriend who's upset, somebody who wants money who's upset. They called 2,000 people who knew me and could not find a single woman to make a new complaint. The only complaints they have against me are the initial complaints, which we can prove are lies, and that's where it stands. So I'm not going to sit here and allow you to pretend that I'm some kind of evil predator, when actually I'd argue the fact that people who've been investigated to the level I've been investigated to, if you were to take the average man on the street and investigate his entire life for 14 months, call everyone who's ever known him, and vilify him in the media, and encourage people to come forward for money, and you try to contact every
You
ex-girlfriend
think
that's ever had.
would come forward and accuse those people of rape and accuse those
I
people
think
of
that you would have a lot more.
manipulation?
I think you would have a lot more flack than I've got. I'm actually such a nice person that
The
I've
BBC
never had
has
anyone come
spoken
at.
to somebody since your arrest who says exactly those things. That with you, it's all manipulation. There's an ulterior.
Is this
motive
Sophie?
to everything.
Is this
you've
Sophie?
done.
Oh, it's Sophie, the fake name, no face, no
I
one.
was so
The
intent
story that
on
was
wanting
invented.
to please him and wanting him to be happy that I was just kind of, yeah, okay, do whatever you want.
And what is she
That's
accused? Has
coercion.
she accused me of a crime? This imaginary Sophie?
She's making the point that there is
Has she accused me of a crime?
emotional or psychological manipulation.
I've asked you a question, and I've allowed you into my house.
I'm asking you a question.
Correct, but you're not the boss here because I've allowed you into my house
I'm asking you the question.
correctly, and I'm telling you.
You get to decide the answers.
No, we're equal here. I've allowed you into my house. You don't come here with a position of authority. I'm doing you the favor as
You know what's so funny? I wonder why Andrew Tate does these interviews. It's like me doing an interview with the Rolling Stone, knowing that they've tried to do hit pieces on me and other people who is in new media. I think Andrew Tate does this because he likes the attention. And when I mean the attention, he likes being the subject of conversation by legacy media, even if he doesn't like what they do. You know, he completely owns the internet space. I don't think he needs an interview to give him a platform to say what he wants to say. I think he wants to kind of engage with some of these mainstream media outlets. That's what I think.
legacy media giving you relevance by speaking to you. And I'm telling you now, this Sophie, which the BBC has invented, which there's no face of, nobody knows who she is.
The
and
BBC did not invent.
Of course not. And because you never invent anything. And she's not filed criminal charges against me. What are we talking about here? What is she saying?
Talking about emotional manipulation into the sex industry for your financial gain.
Absolute garbage. She has not filed criminal. This person, if they exist, has not filed criminal charges against me. I welcome anybody who believes I've harmed them, male or female, any point in the past, to file criminal charges against me, and I will fight them. I know who I am, and I know what I've done, and I know the truth, and I know that I'll be found innocent of this attack. The reason I'm being attacked is because of my massive influence, not because I've ever hurt anybody. And for you to sit here and say that everybody around you is saying you're innocent, but that doesn't matter because the state will say they're victims, and they're just going to grab everybody you know and call everybody victims, even if they say they're not, and try and put you in jail. You are describing a matrix attack. You're not describing human trafficking.
I'm describing women who are going to court to accuse you of rape and human trafficking.
We will see what women go. We will see what women go to court at the end of this trial. We'll see which women go to court.
Can I finish, please?
We'll see which women go to court.
I'm describing women who are going to court to accuse you of rape and human trafficking.
Sophie hasn't gone to court. Sophie doesn't exist.
And I'm describing women who have spoken to the BBC at length.
Sophie doesn't exist.
And other media organisations about what they say is emotional manipulation and coercion. And I'm quoting back to you your own words where you describe
They're not my words.
Coercion.
They're words
and
you
emotional
found.
manipulation.
They're words you found on the internet, and Sophie doesn't exist.
On your
so let's move on to the
website,
next subject.
In your voice.
Move on to the next subject.
No, I think I'll stick on this one for a minute. So there's other places in that same website where you say you get girls to fall in love with you and they do it because they love you, because they want to do what you say. Convincing women to take part in some kind of business arrangement doesn't work long term because they're emotional. You've got to get them to fall in love with you.
Once
that's
again,
coercion, that's emotional manipulation, that's abuse.
What you've found are clips from the internet, some text from the internet, and you're going to sit here and tell me that that's the reason I should be put
Your
in jail.
website, your words.
It's not my website.
Yes, it is.
No, it's not. Check my website. Next.
It's the website you've taken down, and I wonder why those comments have been taken down.
No website's been taken down. My website is the same. It's been the same for a very long time.
The comments on this website, on the original website, have been taken down, and I wonder why.
You are accusing me, I'm guessing, what you're trying to say is you're accusing me and you're trying to say that I'm guilty of the things I'm accused of and I'm emotionally manipulating people.
I'm saying that you have said you emotionally manipulated people here for your own financial gain.
No, absolutely not.
And I'm asking you about that.
Absolutely not is the answer. I look forward to the end of this trial. I look forward to clearing my name. I look forward to the BBC and the legacy media having to say not guilty and having to tell the truth. As I've said before, the only other person who's been found, despite absolute rigorous, destructive levels.
The reason why I asked why Andrew Tate is doing this interview is because the interviewers literally want him to explain him being guilty when he's saying, I'm not guilty. They have no other angle. They're saying, why did you do this? He's saying, I didn't do it. They don't want to be like, okay, what proof do you have that you don't do it? They don't even want to talk about that. They're like, well, why? Well, we believe you did it because you said this mad years ago, and it matches up with the allegations. So you probably did do it. So explain to us why you said that. Like they refuse to move off that single point.
Of investigation and prodding into my life is this imaginary Sophie by the BBC who doesn't exist. And if you were to find any single other man on earth and try and analyze his life forensically to the level they've done mine, you would find genuine damage to people. I don't hurt people.
It's not just
thousands of women have come out in my defense. Thousands of women have come out in my defense, and you've not mentioned that. Thousands of women come out in my defense.
Because the problem is when women accuse you of serious crimes.
Okay,
and emotional
but
manipulation.
let's agree that thousands of women. Let's agree that
it's
thousands.
It's not the problem that some people say you haven't done it. It's a problem that some people say you have.
Thousands of women come out in my defense, and as we stand right now, we have an open criminal investigation. People who are involved in the criminal investigation are saying that we're not victims of anything. Andrew's fine, he's never hurt us. You're saying, no, I have the opposite to that. I have to counter that. I have someone called Sophie with no face, a fake name, who we've invented, and she's not accusing you of anything criminal. So I don't see the whole point you're trying to make here.
You say you manipulate women, they say you manipulate women. Why wouldn't people think you do?
I'm not here. Do you think I'm manipulating you?
I'm asking you about the testimony you've given on your website and the testimony women have given
You've
about
printed
it.
something off that you found on Reddit, and you're going to sit here and say that that makes me a bad person. And I'm saying that you should know better as a journalist and do some proper journalism. Let's investigate the fact that thousands...
I think you should answer my questions
properly. I already have, and we should move on. She's just trying to start an argument.
It's not only about the criminal allegations. It's a much bigger issue. You've got children's organisations in the UK, you've got rape organisations in the UK, you've got the police naming you by name as someone who has a harmful influence on children and on women in the UK and elsewhere because of the things you say, because of the way you present gender relations, the way you say men should treat women.
That's very upsetting. And the reason that's very upsetting is because I know that's not true. I'm genuinely a good person.
Okay. So he said this, and then he gave it's a long thing. It's 38 minutes. I don't want to just sit here and just play this whole thing. You guys can watch it. But after, they released an edited version, he released this unedited version. Then he gave a statement afterward. He gave a statement basically speaking to mainstream media. This was it. Essentially, not to give a spoiler, he says he's done doing all these platforms. Here we go.
In the interest of saving absolutely everybody's time, I feel like doing a generalized statement to all legacy media inside of the Matrix. And I'm doing it to save their time and mine, as well as protect the minds of the masculine youth for the future.
By the way, I ain't gonna lie, we're in the last hour, so I need everybody to go over to Rumble. We about to cut all the streams. We're about to just do the last hour on Rumble. Please, everybody, go to Rumble. Rumble.com/C/Akademiks. I need everybody to go to Rumble right now, please. Rumble.com. Make sure everybody, yeah. Please, everybody go over there. We still didn't talk about the Cardi B thing yet. I'm gonna be doing that topic over there exclusively. Also talking about the top 50 most streamed rappers of all time. We finally have that list, and I'm going to be finishing up this topic right here. So I need everybody to go to Rumble real quick, and I will see you guys there.
I want to make it very clear that the legacy media, which I enjoyed the company of today, have made a massive mistake and missed a chance to do some genuinely interesting journalism. After being unfairly incarcerated in a Romanian dungeon, I thought that even the BBC, in its absolute arrogance and hubris, would be smart enough to come to me after 6 months, being the first interview I gave to The Matrix, and be smart enough to ask questions people were genuinely interested in. What's it like inside of a Romanian prison cell? How were you treated? Why was a person's liberty deprived of them for 6 months without charge? How is your mental state post your unfair incarceration? Things people are genuinely interested in hearing. But instead, they came with the same old talking points. And I'd like to address all of these talking points to the Matrix media now to prevent this happening again, because it's a monumental waste of everybody's time. I say things on the internet. I've been making content on the internet for a very long time. Finding a clip from 2016, 8 years ago, finding a 4-hour-long podcast from 2016, ignoring all context, ignoring everything positive I say about men and women and the world, And taking a single sentence and trying to pretend that's my entire worldview is not the bombshell you think it is. Nobody cares. Everybody understands what satire is. Everybody understands what a joke is. Everybody understands it's the internet. Everybody understands all of these things. Plus, the people who know the truth of my message are very capable of understanding what is satirical and what is true. People are not as stupid as you'd like them to be. Sitting down with me and missing the chance to have a genuinely interesting interview with genuinely interesting questions that people are interested in hearing the answers to, and instead attempting this attack to get this bombshell aha moment is never going to work. Because one, I'm too smart for all of you.
I agree in principle with what he's saying. They're trying to attack him on his words previously, and they're trying to use those words as support for this case. But anybody with a brain could tell that he's being satirical. He's being a lot of things he's saying is in tongue in cheek. He's putting some hyperbole on certain stuff, a little bit of exaggeration. Like it kind of, like, again, like when he says he's the most dangerous man in the world. Like, I think he did say that, which, by the way, ironically, he denied that he said that. But I think he said that, but he said that tongue in cheek. He doesn't mean like he's like a killer. It doesn't mean like he's so dangerous women shouldn't. Bro, he's confident in his physical abilities. He's saying, yo, he feel he could deal with any type of physical challenge. That's all he's saying. Like, obviously, if you extrapolate it to be like some bad shit, you're going to look at him badly. But again, I don't think, I think most of these outlets are taking what he says way too fucking serious. Like, no, it's not that serious, bro.
And two, nobody cares. Nobody cares I made a joke 8 years ago because everybody knows I was joking and everybody knows the truth of my message. So you're wasting absolutely everybody's time. Worse than wasting everybody's time, what you're genuinely doing is damaging the minds of young men. And I think I have a responsibility as one of the most influential men on the planet to protect the minds of young men and all of the men who look up to me. Nobody, no young man below the age of 30 has any interest in what the BBC or the legacy media say. They don't care and they don't watch it.
Okay, I'm going to get to the point
where having opinions through being a man.
There we go.
Equal, and if you ask me questions, I can have a conversation. Is my number one objective. I am making this clear to all legacy media outlets. I will no longer interact with you for free. Nobody cares that you lie about me and nobody cares what you say. You have destroyed all of your credibility in the last 4 years of constantly lying about everything. And continuing to lie about me will only destroy your credibility further. I have an organization called Tate Pledge, which you can see. Go to CobraTate.com and click at Tate Pledge, and you will see that I dedicate $25 million a year to feeding children, both male and female, in war-torn countries. I would like to think that even the legacy media can agree that feeding children in Sudan, or Turkish children after an earthquake, or Syrian children in refugee camps is a pretty positive thing to do for the world. In my last BBC interview, she tried to spin it and say that what I'm doing is somehow negative because I'm only doing it for myself. But this is the level of delusion these people operate under.
Because some people would look at that and say, okay, so before you got money from attracting people to your website by making controversial comments, but that might have got you into trouble. And so now you're looking for a new market. You're looking for a new market of followers who are attracted by a different sort of persona.
I've always done the charity work, so that is obviously incorrect. And I have proof that I've always done the charity work, so you're wrong.
Tate Pledge is funded 100% by me. This is my personal money. But I believe if the legacy media is intent on spreading hate, intent on spreading extremist ideologies, which it seems they are, not only the extremist ideology that men shouldn't work hard, but also a bunch of other ones, which I don't need to mention.
Hey, as I pause this, I don't know if Tate will ever go back to this. I miss this Tate right here, bro. Like, these days, like, the amount of attention he gets has sucked the entire joy out of this nigga, bro. This nigga is not like, he's not just hilarious and funny as much anymore, because now he's number one charged with like very serious crimes, but like, his life is hanging in the balance. Like, yo, I gotta show you one of the funniest Tate interviews, period, nigga. This shit was fucking classic. I want this Tate back. You feel me? The nigga who was talking dumb mad shit, you know, bitches wasn't like, come on, man. Let me see. Is this? Maybe it was this. I don't know. Let me see.
It's done. You have your value. Now you have 6 or 7 years. You're valuable. You could be a moron.
That was one of them.
You're still on a billionaire's boat because you're hot. Done. As a man, doesn't matter if you're born good looking. If you're stupid and weak and broke, you're still going to struggle. It doesn't matter if you're born rich. Like I said, if you're still stupid, weak, socially inept. As a man, you need to have it all. You need to have wisdom. You need to be funny. You need to be tall. Well, tall is one thing you can't fix. Strong, good looking helps. They like to.
Bro, it's funny. This thing is hilarious.
I'm going to turn it into 100 because we have like a few days. We got to pay this bill. And he's like, don't do it. I was like, bro, it's a big brother. Relax. So I went to the casino and lost all the money. The Danube. It's a little bit cold. Maybe we should go to Dubai again. Should we go to Dubai again?
You could.
Let's go to Dubai. You mess with me, you're going to learn something. Hey, yeah. Ain't ready for the big man slap. I got a big hand. I'll bust their jaw with the bottom of my hand. And the top of their head will feel the sting from the fingers. Like the whole boom.
Only a cat-owning bitch would complain to the police about a fucking joke. Fine, you're upset you lost your cat. Fair enough, yeah, the joke may have been a little bit, you know, risque. Who calls the police on a fucking joke? Cat owners. Cat owners are liberals. Cat owners believe in hate speech. Cat owners are Democrats.
Really? You know what? So many women say to me, you're so, Andrew, you know what? You're so rich, but you're smart and you're actually very intelligent. And I know you'd get really bored of a robot. And I'm sitting there thinking, bitch, I wish to God you were a robot. You better shut the fuck up. We talk about star signs? What pisses me off most? You thick fucks. Beer break.
I hate everyone equally. Don't come at me and call me sexist or racist or any of these things. I hate everyone. I don't care if you're black.
I ain't gonna lie. This is an Andrew Tate I kind of fuck with, bro. Like, you know what I mean? Like, this is the Tate where, like, bro, we get it. Like, you're saying shit, but it's comical. Like, we don't really think you're misogynistic or racist or whatever. Nigga, you just saying shit that regular people wish they could say.
Black, white, straight, gay, man and woman. I hate you anyway.
I know you said money isn't real, but I am getting fucked.
If you're so fucking stupid, it didn't cross your mind at some point that permanently sucking on this vape was going to damage you in some way, you deserve what happens to your dumb ass.
I walk into hell and the devil's like, oh, I'm going to burn you. So you ain't going to do shit.
So printers are shared.
Here's my new fucking... I'm going to be like, bang, oh, I've seen that before. Okay, boom, boom, duck and dive in, take one terrorist out. Next, get the AK, go Rambo, take out all of fucking Pakistan with a G. I don't play games.
So we've decided to eat as much McDonald's as possible in the coming days to become stronger than ever.
One dude, he must have been about 50, got naked, then go on the dance floor and just like start to dance. Just like, yeah. If you want to dance, just like, why would you get completely naked and just to go do your shit dancing? $250,000. I've only spent $250,000 in the last casino. Traffic's going this way. The traffic stopped. Traffic, she comes out. Instead of just turning right and going on her way, she comes and just crashes into this car. And I sat there and I thought, how are women allowed to drive?
Nah. Yo, we like the misogynistic
Sitting
Tate,
there.
bro.
I'm chilling. There's a traffic jam. No big deal. Whatever. Big Daddy Tate, I can handle it. Someone goes, there's a climate change activist and they blocked the road. What? There's climate change activism, Extinction Rebellion. Yeah, I'll show you an extinction.
Little electric, my little plug. Ooh, let me get my little plug and plug it into my Tesla. Maybe I can get an erection one day. He's refusing to wake up and see what's permanently in front of his eyes. Has been so. Slap, slap, grab, choke, shut up, bitch, sex.
Bodybuilding is a beauty pageant where dudes try their best to put on muscle so other dudes can say, you're the best looking dude. It's gay.
What is that? You said you were the room service. Room service. Is that popcorn? Half a bowl of popcorn and Pringles. And the popcorn dad.
Man, I miss this Andrew Tate.
A little bit, you know.
Oh my god.
No, I want to see every edit.
Oh, he's just reacting to it. All right, man. Anyway, yo, if you guys didn't notice, so there's a top 50 list that got put out by Really Rap Caviar of the most streamed artists in hip hop. You know, it's the 50th year, the 50th anniversary of hip hop this year. So everything's about 50, 50, 50. There's a list of the top 50 most